Sukkot is a holiday from the Torah where Jews are commanded to dwell in booths for several days to remind them of how the Israelites lived in temporary shelters while wandering in the desert for 40 years after leaving Egypt and after the revelation at Mount Sinai. The ritual of the holiday revolves around rejoicing and thanking God for the harvest. The simplicity of eating and living in a temporary shelter focuses our minds on the important things in life and divorces us from the material possessions of the modern world that dominate most of our lives. What it reminds me of is the concept of enlightenment in some circles. Chop wood, fetch water, cook our food in the fire. This helps us connect to our truest nature as humans, to be one with the land. This is all Indigenous coded. There are four important symbolic plants that are used together during this holiday. The palm branch from a date tree represents the spine, which translates to action and integrity, standing tall in faith and truth. The myrtle branches represent the eyes and the ability to see beauty and goodness in others. The willow branches represent the lips and people who may not yet live by wisdom, but are still part of the whole. And finally, the citron fruit, which represents the heart that allows us to connect to spirit and gratitude. They are waved together in prayer to express unity and balance in six directions: east, south, west, north, up, and down, to acknowledge that divine presence is everywhere. There is an even deeper spiritual meaning behind where Sukkot is mentioned in the Torah that represents the different stages of consciousness or embodiment. Exodus teaches grounded abundance in the physical, knowing that tending to the earth, harvesting, and receiving are sacred acts of worship. Gathering to enjoy the fruits of your labor connects us to the physical realm where we learn to be thankful for simple things: food, shelter, and the breath of life. Leviticus helps us remember that we are divinely protected. The Sukkah's fragile walls remind us that true security is spiritual, not physical, and help us learn how to trust and have faith. And you can only do this when you have an open heart. Numbers reminds us of the sacred structure and rhythm of the mental realm, where divine order enters the mind. Spirituality deepens when you honor the natural cycles. Consciousness expands through structure, where discipline becomes devotion. Then Deuteronomy echoes the realm of the soul, where boundaries dissolve. Joy flows from inclusion, compassion, and unity. True joy comes from connection and seeing the joy of others. This is when love transforms from a practice into something that you are. Obviously, I'm not Jewish, but I appreciate learning about the holiday of Sukkot because I became connected to the natural law through my own life experiences, particularly during my time living in the Amazon jungle. So while I may not celebrate Sukkot in a traditional way, I celebrate what it stands for: the wisdom of simplicity, the sanctity of the earth, and the joy of being alive in this great woven field of creation. Chag Sameach, everyone.